No, I think Beijing and Russia share a worldview of the West in decline, and they share a view that despite the fact they've both benefited from the current global order, they both wish to challenge it. So it's really just Beijing reasserting its partnership with Russia and its belief in the fact that China and Russia really are the way of the future.
Well, the US says China risks being on the wrong side of history, but that's certainly not deterring Beijing at all.
I don't see how it would deter them in any way. They believe the US is in decline. So the US saying this to China, I don't think will have any impact on their behaviour.
The US has unveiled another round of military aid for Ukraine. How significant is this one?
I think it's significant because it comes during the meeting of about 50 countries who are partnering up to provide military assistance to Ukraine. So it's the Americans continuing their strong support for Ukraine, but also saying to these other 50 plus countries, this is what we're throwing into the pot. We'd like you to throw in additional assistance as well.
And turning to the state of the war, you've written that the capture of Severodonetsk would prove to be an excellent victory for Putin's domestic audience.
Yeah, absolutely. It is more a political target now than a military target. I mean, the Russian bombardments have destroyed large parts of the city and most of the inhabitants have left. This is all about Putin being able to say to a domestic audience that we are having some success on the battlefield in Ukraine, and all the sacrifice so far has been worth it.
And after Severodonetsk, what next? What options are on the table for Moscow?
Well, both sides are certainly getting weary. I think once they secure Severodonetsk and the remainder of Luhansk, the Russians may choose to have an operational pause to reset, reinforce. Both they and the Ukrainians are getting tired, and my sense is this is maybe the last battle of this phase of the war.
What are the main pressure points that could determine which way the war goes?
Well, I think there's a few things. It will depend, firstly, on whether the Russians believe they have sufficient momentum after Luhansk, if they indeed capture it, to continue their operations. But also there is pressure on the Russians in Kherson they're going to have to address. From the Ukrainian side, they need to continue receiving Western aid, but also to train up reinforcements for the soldiers that they have lost in this war as well.
And Mick, EU leaders are meeting in Ukraine today. What do we know about this visit?
We saw the vision of the Italian, French and German leaders on their way to Ukraine. As they arrived, there were air raid sirens playing in Kiev and other parts of the country. I think it's very important that these leaders see on the ground what the situation is like. And we've already seen statements from France today about they're now in this to ensure Ukrainian victory. So I think it's an important visit, and will certainly shape the opinions of the French, Italian and German leaders.
What do you think might come out of it?
Well, hopefully it might result in even more assistance from those three countries to Ukraine. The large European economies are important potential donors of military as well as humanitarian and economic assistance for Ukraine now and into the future.
Now, Turkey is continuing to delay Finland and Sweden's efforts to join NATO. Will we see an end to this deadlock, do you think?
Well, it's a really interesting one. There's going to be some behind-the-scenes discussions, I'm sure, between Turkey and other countries. There may have to be some trade-offs between Turkey and other countries for Turkey to change its view on these two countries.
Mick Ryan, thank you.
Thank you.